Hi, everyone. It's Dr. O, and welcome to the first episode of the Positive Revolution Show. Picking up the mantle from Dr. Edward de Bono, author of the Handbook for the Positive Revolution, the Positive Revolution Show is going to be a source of positivity, creative inspiration, and a focus on problem solving. As hate, negativity, and divisiveness increases and spreads across the globe, it's time to move beyond the negativity and focus on positive action. The time is now for all of us to improve ourselves, our communities, and the world. In these unprecedented times of fake news, conspiracy theories, and misinformation, there's no better time for a positive revolution. That's why I started this show. As politicians, traditional media, and social media promote lies and hate, xenophobia, and divisiveness, we urgently need a change in perspectives. We cannot rely on others to make positive change. It's up to every one of us. The objective of the Positive Revolution Show is to encourage and promote positivity and creative problem solving. Every week, the Positive Revolution Show will focus on a variety of topics, from positive news stories to amazing people who help change the world, to sharing tools and techniques to make you more creative. The Positive Revolution Show is for everyone, no matter your age, religion, or political stance. It's about making positive change to creatively solve problems. Everyone is welcome. This is not a political movement or one based on extremes and hate. It's about working together to move beyond attack, blame, and criticism. It's about improving ourselves and helping others. Are you ready to join the positive revolution? Are you tired of the increase of hate, negativity, and divisiveness? Do you want to make a positive difference? Then tune in every week for a new episode of the Positive Revolution Show to get motivated and learn new skills to change the world. So let's now jump right into it. The first step in the positive revolution is developing a positive mindset. A key factor in the positive revolution is developing a positive mindset to change the way you approach life. Unfortunately, most of us focus on the negative rather than looking for the positives, even in a challenging situation. For example, if you get a flat tire on your car, you can be angry and upset, or you can realize it's a great opportunity to get some exercise and just be glad it did not cause an accident. Negativity is habitual. The real challenge is finding positivity in every situation. Nothing is negative unless you think it is negative. It all starts with your mindset and how you perceive things. And it's not about, ignoring reality. It's about focusing on issues and challenges with a positive outlook, having the mindset that any problem can be overcome. A realistic yet positive mindset puts you in the position to solve problems and motivate others. When you ignore reality, it's very difficult to convince others of your true purpose. Positivity is about being honest, truthful, yet realistic. A negative mindset focuses on what cannot be accomplished. A negative mindset focuses on attack and criticism and blame. A positive mindset empowers you to develop alternatives and expand perspectives. Negativity is easy and cheap. Positivity takes effort and practice to become a habit. A positive mindset is critical to drive change, and it also allows you to focus on opportunities and solutions and respect others. A positive mindset sees others as positive sources of positive contribution rather than enemies. A positive mindset is about what can be rather than what is. It's about looking for alternatives to move forward. And a positive mindset has been found to improve both mental and physical health and positively affect those around you. Positivity can be learned, and its powerful energy can be used for positive change. I know I've done this. I used to be negative, and I focus on positivity now because positivity allows you to be optimistic towards the future and it allows you to be realistic while seeking alternatives to build a new path forward. It also provides energy to be constructive and helps you work with and connect with others. Most importantly, a positive mindset allows you to be more resilient and able to focus and persevere through tough situations. People that are positive, they develop a mental capacity that allows them to easily adapt during adversity. They develop a set of powerful mental traits. Remember, life is about overcoming obstacles, and the more you can focus on the positive of every situation, the less stressed and worried you're going to be. The more you give out positively, the more you're going to get back. In future episodes, we're going to share how to develop a positive mindset and become an example for positive change. The path to becoming a positive revolutionist starts with your mindset. So let's now talk about some positive news. So the majority of news from traditional media focuses primarily on the negative, and I feel it's time to focus on all the good things happening in the world. Our first story in this episode is about an amazing organization located in Orden, Maine in the United States. Home Workers Organized for More Employment, also known as HOME, is an amazing organization that provides resources for low-income and homeless families in their community. Home Inc., it was founded in 1970, and in the beginning, handcraft studios were created as a means for low-income families in the rural Hancock County to earn extra income through difficult Maine winters. Community members, they produced items from home to sell at the craft store, which was located on Home's 23-acre site in Orland. As one of its first efforts towards addressing homelessness in the community, Home opened the county's first overnight shelter in 1979 and its first transitional housing unit in 1996. Now, more than 47 years later, their shelters and traditional houses provide 55 emergency shelter spaces on any given night, as well as 18 units of transitional housing. Over the years, the needs of local citizens have led to programs of service tailored to respond in positive and effective outcomes. For example, shelters for the homeless, affordable daycare, organic gardens. They have a craft co-op for home-based industries such as weaving, stained glass, pottery, sewing, and creative arts. They also have a food pantry and soup kitchen, plus programs to support a house construction and repair effort that has built 53 homes for low-income families. Really amazing. And a few years back, they set up a service to provide firewood to families struggling to pay their heating bills. So we all need to remember that there are so many people and organizations focusing on solving problems and helping others. It's just a reminder that there is more good things happening in the world, just beyond the negativity that we typically watch on the evening news or on Facebook throughout our day. Another great thing happening in the world is ensuring the safety of wild animals. Many animals every year are killed trying to cross roads and highways. Several governments around the world, they're building overpasses and tunnels, which allow animals to cross safely, avoiding vehicles. The 101 freeway in Southern California is a barrier for many animals, especially mountain lions. The good news is that this year, construction of a massive wildlife crossing over the 101 freeway will allow mountain lions and other wild animals to cross the freeway safely. Just a great thing people are doing all over the place. Now, sure, this is going to be expensive, but what's the cost of the loss of a single animal, let alone the possibility of the disappearance of a species? As more and more local and national governments realize there can be simple solutions to the problems around us, the better we'll all be. So now let's talk about some amazing people doing really incredible things, both in the past, now, and planning for the future. So February was Black History Month, and there are so many amazing people of color who made a positive change throughout history. Unfortunately, most of us have never heard of them. So let's meet a couple of these amazing people. Now, few people know the story of Claudette Colvin. When she was only 15, she refused to move to the back of the bus in Montgomery, Alabama, and give up her seat to a white person. This was 9 months before Rosa Parks did the very same thing. Now, most people know about Parks and the Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott that began in 1955, but few know that there were a number of women who refused to give up their seats on the same bus system. Most of the women were quietly fined, and no one heard much more. But Claudette, she was the first. Colvin was the first to really challenge the law. After studying about black leaders at school and discussing all the injustices blacks encountered in the 1950s in America, she was inspired to push back on the Jim Crow segregation laws she was dealing with every day in her community. As she took the city bus home from high school on March 2nd, 1955, she sat in the front. The bus driver ordered her to get up, and she refused, saying she'd paid her fare and it was her constitutional right. 2 police officers put her in handcuffs and arrested her. She never really talked about the incident, but it inspired others, and most famously, Rosa Parks, to stand up against the racism and injustice. Another amazing person from Black history was Benjamin O. Davis Sr., who served in the U.S. military for 50 years and became the nation's first black general. And this happened in the 1940s in the U.S., as the U.S. was a deeply segregated country. General Davis served in the Spanish-American War, the Philippine-American War, as well as World War II. He also served as a professor at several colleges, as well as becoming the assistant to the Inspector General in Washington, D.C. I mean, this is truly amazing accomplishments during a time of terrible racism and segregation in the U.S., especially in the military at that time. And then there was Jane Bolin, another amazing person who succeeded in spite of the racism and segregation happening in the U.S. She was the first black woman to graduate from Yale Law School, the first to join the New York City Bar Association, and the first to join the New York City Law Department. She became the first black woman to serve as a judge in the United States when she was sworn into the bench of the New York City Domestic Relations Court in 1939. For 20 years, she was the only black female judge in the entire country. Just crazy to think about nowadays. Just an amazing woman and a role model for so many young black women. Just amazing courage and accomplishment during a time of terrible hate and racism. These amazing people are great examples to never give up and always fight for what you believe in. Okay, now it's time to start building your creative toolbox. So, to become a positive revolutionist, you need to be able to develop new ideas anytime and any place. Remember, innovation starts with an idea. And all great solutions begin with an idea to make positive change. Now, unfortunately, most of us have never learned how to develop new ideas. In addition, most people greatly underuse creativity based on the conditioning processes of society, educational systems, and business organizations. Most people feel they're not creative. However, their creative abilities have just atrophied. They're not lost. Learning creative thinking tools and techniques, practicing and creating an environment where critical judgment is suspended and speculation is encouraged form the foundation for creating positive change and solving problems, both big ones and small ones. Now, you need to become skilled at developing new ideas anytime and any place, then putting those ideas into practice to develop innovative solutions. Search for new possibilities and actively use the information around you. Explore new ways of thinking and challenge firmly held beliefs and assumptions. The objective of creative thinking is to develop new and better ways to do things. That's all about creative problem solving. Creativity, it's a skill, and like any skill such as riding a bike or juggling or playing the guitar, creative thinking is developed by learning the basics, practicing every day, and forming habits, and slowly getting better and better. Most importantly, avoid trying to develop new ideas ad hoc, or you're going to be wasting your time. The most effective way to develop new ideas is with a deliberate, structured, and systematic process. Using a systematic process to develop new ideas may sound counterintuitive. However, research has shown that when using a systematic process, participants developed a higher number of ideas than when using ad hoc methods. Most experts define the creative process as a multi-step process. For example, first you focus on a problem, then you gather up the information and you analyze it, then you ignore it for a while to let it incubate in your subconscious, and then allow time for the idea to appear, which often happens when you least expect it, like when taking a shower or going for a walk. Now, the last step is putting the idea into practice. Remember, new ideas are great, but unless you apply the new idea, it's useless. It's like reading lots and lots of books on how to repair a car. But unless you actually get your hands dirty, you still really don't know how to fix the car. You have to put your learnings into action and make a positive difference. And that's what's so much fun about creative thinking and creative problem solving. Now, the majority of new ideas are typically combinations of many unrelated items, and developing creative ideas requires you to connect the dots from many different sources and experiences, aligning and combining unrelated areas. As your ideas incubate in your unconscious mind, the ideas expand and they elaborate until a creative breakthrough emerges. Digital music devices were a combination of a record player, the Sony Walkman, and Napster, all combined to create a portable music player. Or the combination of treads from a tractor, the handlebar and engine from a motorcycle, and snow skis created the snowmobile. Most innovation is the combination of things already around us. Developing the skill to create new ideas is extremely valuable to improve yourself and your community. By learning the various tools and techniques of creative thinking, you will become an idea factory, a valuable resource for your community and your organization. The challenge of creative thinking is really balancing structure and flexibility, divergent and convergent thinking, individual and group ideation, productivity and creativity, and of course, art and science. Creative thinking is about overcoming mental blocks, such as there's only one right answer, or the idea is not logical, or you have to follow the rules. You must work hard to overcome society's rigid, rule-driven, constraining systems. Most of us, we've been domesticated to think logically and negatively, not searching for alternative ways to do something, only focused on finding the weaknesses of new ideas. It requires proactiveness to move beyond societal norms and search for alternative ideas to solve problems and make positive change. We have to stop, acting like we're adults. So now that you know the best way to create new ideas with a deliberate process and using systematic tools and techniques, let's now discuss a great creative thinking tool called Scamper. Now, Scamper is an easy to learn and easy to use tool. It's going to help you develop novel ways to reimagine a product or process rather than recycling the same old ingredients. Scamper allows you to rearrange existing variables into new combinations. And I use Scamper all the time to help me improve products, create differentiation with marketing campaigns, or even devise new ways to teach. The Scamper mnemonic stands for substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, and reverse. Scamper allows you to think creatively, using multiple perspectives to improve products, develop solutions to problems, or just expand new ideas. So apply Scamper for continuous improvement, such as developing new expense forms, creating new ways to conduct a product launch, or to solve homelessness in your neighborhood. Or use Scamper for innovation products. You can use Scamper to develop new products, services, ways to reduce pollution or reduce crime. Scamper is a simple yet effective tool to develop new and amazing ideas. For example, Scamper is an effective way to examine a current product or one in development, either as a whole or toward each specific element. For example, you can conduct a Scamper exercise on an entire motorcycle or on the individual suspension, brakes, chassis, or engine components. Scamper is going to force you to move outside of traditional thinking patterns and find new connections, often between unrelated items, to develop new and innovative ideas and solutions. The following example uses Scamper to create new ideas for a bicycle. This example has substituted pedals with an engine, combined the bicycle with a generator to charge electronics, adapted the bicycle to clean dishes as you pedal, no electricity needed, and modified the bicycle frame using bamboo instead of steel. You've seen probably some of these already being incorporated in real products. Other changes were to put the bicycle to another use and help power water pumps in African villages. One fork leg was eliminated to reduce weight, and the driven sprocket position was reversed. We installed it on the front wheel instead of the rear wheel. Now, Scamper, it's a great way to develop many new ideas quickly. So practice and get comfortable using Scamper, then share it with family and friends and coworkers to help solve problems and make a positive change. So now that we understand the need for systematic and deliberate creative thinking, let's check out some really cool innovative products and social innovations which demonstrate that nothing is perfect and everything can be and must be improved. Let's now talk about some really cool stuff. So, I love to find cool, innovative products, services, and processes which make you say, why didn't I think of that? And which really stand out and demonstrate the power of putting ideas into practice to creatively solve problems. Success is often determined by doing something new and different. Think of the Sony Walkman, the iPhone, or even VR headsets. There are so many innovative things out there, you should always keep an eye out for them. I like to find them, save them, and share with my friends and family to inspire myself as well as others. Now, the first really cool product I found several years ago was this really neat pizza box that Pizza Hut produced. Pizza Hut realized their customers would often watch movies while eating pizza. And Pizza Hut realized many of these people, these customers, were young students who were glued to their smartphones. So what did they create? How about a pizza box with a small plastic lens so you could position your smartphone in the box and project movies onto a wall? Such a cool and simple idea. Though people probably didn't like their smartphones getting oily and all dirty and things like that, but it was a great idea. Or how about the simple plastic spacer which keeps your pizza from sticking to the box top? Problem solved, simple and inexpensive, a perfect type of innovation. Now, another really cool innovation that solved a problem many of us have experienced was created by McDonald's. How many of us have gone to McDonald's or fast food restaurants and then tried to ride home on a bicycle or a scooter without dropping the food and drinks? Well, McDonald's, they designed a really smart carrying system that would hook onto the handlebar so you could ride without dropping the food or spilling your drinks. It's such a really simple idea to a common problem. And that's the beauty of creative problem solving. It's about finding something that irritates you and fixing it. As simple as that. And fixing it simply. Don't make things too complicated. Now, another innovative product is the Max Bench for weightlifting. If you've ever been bench pressing by yourself and got stuck under the barbell, you could not push the bar off your chest. It was not only scary, but it was also dangerous. You were either afraid you were going to die with the barbell on your chest, or you'd lean one side of the bar over so the weights fell off, causing a lot of noise and possibly damaging your floor. Now, the Max Bench solves this problem. Their website describes the bench as the first safe free weight exercise bench in the world that does not compromise the exercise. It allows athletes to press the upper limits and rescue themselves from heavy weights by simply pushing a foot lever. I wish I had this years ago. If the bar is stuck on your chest, you just push the foot lever and the bench lowers so the barbell rests on the side rails. Then you just slide out from underneath the bar. Simple solution and another great idea. I love these simple solutions to everyday problems or opportunities. Developing clever innovations, it's a great way to supercharge your creativity. And that's why practicing creativity every day is really important. So every week, I'm going to share a few cool innovations that I hope will inspire you to create solutions to everyday problems, both big and small. You know, it's really fun to find problems or things that are irritating and then develop solutions. And most importantly, trying out the idea to see if it works. Remember, an idea not put into action is useless. And what if the idea doesn't work? Don't worry about it. It's going to be a great learning experience so you can make the idea better and keep trying and failing until you get it right. That's right, you're going to fail a lot. That's a good thing. Now, the founder of Honda Motors, Soichiro Honda, has famously said, success can be achieved only through repeated failure and introspection. In fact, success represents 1% of your work, which results only from the 99% that is called failure. Many people dream of success. To me, success can be achieved only through repeated failure and introspection. In fact, success represents 1% of your work, which results only from the 99% that's called failure. Success can be achieved only through repeated failure and introspection. Really great quote from a really incredible inventor. So never forget, failure is not a bad thing. Let me repeat that. Failure is not a bad thing as long as you learn from it. Failure is a critical part of innovation. Look at failure as a learning exercise on your way to success. Never give up and keep creating new ideas and putting them into action. Who doesn't like a good experiment? That's what's so much fun. Learning, failing, and improving is the best way to build your creative muscles. A big part of creativity and making positive change is combining all your experience and knowledge to create something new. The more input you have into your brain, the higher probability that the output is going to be something innovative. Now, a great source of gathering data and expanding your perspectives is through reading books. So each week, I'm going to share a book to stimulate your personal computer, your brain, with new and valuable creative and inspirational data. So now let's talk about the book of the week. So every week, I'm going to share a book to help you become a better thinker, to become more creative, as well as inspire you to push yourself. Reading is unfortunately becoming a lost art. However, reading is essential to learning and self-improvement. Sure, listening to an audiobook is great when driving or going for a walk, but reading an actual book should be a daily habit. Just 1 hour per day will provide you with an endless amount of new ideas and knowledge. The more you learn and experience things, the better your ideas will be. I cannot emphasize how important reading is. So put your phone down, turn off Netflix, and spend some time learning and escaping with a fun, inspiring book. Okay, enough of my preaching about reading. Let's get to the book of the week. And this week's spotlight is on a book, How to Get Ideas by Jack Foster. It's a great book that explains the creative process and provides ways to become more creative. How to Get Ideas shows you, no matter your age or skill, your job or training, how to come up with more ideas faster and easier. You'll learn to condition your mind to become idea prone. Utilize your sense of humor, develop your curiosity, visualize your goals, rethink your thinking, and overcome your fear of rejection. Jack Foster's simple 5-step technique for solving problems and developing new ideas takes the mystery and anxiety out of the idea generating process. It's a proven process that works. The book explains how to turn failures to your advantage and how to create a rich, idea-inducing environment. There's dozens of examples in real-life stories that show that anyone can learn to get more and better ideas. As I said before, creative thinking is a skill that can become a habit through practice. And it only takes about 10 minutes per day to get much better at ideation. I do this every day. About 10 minutes, I'm done, boom. The first chapter of the book attempts to define an idea. The next 8 chapters tell you how to condition your mind. Chapter 2 is about having fun. Chapter 3 talks about how to become idea prone. Chapter 4 discusses how to set your mind on goals, while Chapter 5 focuses on the importance to act and be more like a child. Chapter 6 is about getting more inputs, and Chapter 7 encourages you to screw up your courage. Chapter 8 is about rethinking your thinking, while Chapter 9, it discusses the importance of combining things, as we discussed before. Now, Chapters 10 through 14 talk about a systematic process to develop ideas and solve problems. Now, the process that Foster explains is very similar to many other creative thinking processes. Chapter 10, it presents how to define the problem, really important. Chapter 11 provides direction on how to gather information. And Chapter 12 is about the need to search for the idea. Chapter 13 talks about the incubation process, forgetting about the problem. And the final chapter is about putting your ideas into action. Very similar to what we just talked about. Now, Chapter 14, put ideas into action, is maybe the most important chapter in the book. It's the one thing to learn a new skill, but if you never use it, why spend the time? The purpose of the positive revolution is to make positive change. And the way to do that is through action. Sure, it can be scary to try something new, but that's the fun of being a human being. Challenge societal, educational, and organizational norms. Go break some rules and see what happens. Experiment, fail, learn, improve, and try again. Then repeat. Most importantly, don't give up. So I gotta say, check out Foster's book and start improving your creativity today. I really love the book. I've read it multiple times, and it's just a great way to improve your creative thinking abilities and problem solving. So that's a wrap on episode 1 of the Positive Revolution Show. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please come back each week. I'll be sharing new topics each episode to inspire, inform, and help you become a positive revolutionist. And if you like the show, please share with friends and family. And don't forget, please hit the subscribe button. And most importantly, let me know what you think. This is not the Dr. O Show. This is a community-based program. So if there are topics you'd like me to discuss in future episodes, send me an email. Or if you have any questions on how you, your organization, or community can become more creative and solve problems to drive positive change, email me. Let me know how I can help. The world desperately needs more positivity and proactive problem solvers. It's up to every one of us to do our part. Don't expect others to help solve your problems. Take the first step, be proactive, and help change the world. Become a positive revolutionist. So thanks again for watching, and I'm going to see you next week, same time, same place.